إنا أنزلناه قرآنا عربيا لعلكم تعقلون.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، وأصلي وأسلم على المبعوث رحمة للعالمين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Inshallah, today we are going to be studying Surah Al-Kawthar, like we have made mention before. So today's study is going to be based on Surah Al-Kawthar. We are going to be studying Surah Al-Kawthar, and Surah Al-Kawthar is one of the shortest surahs of the Quran. It's one of the shortest surahs of the Quran, but actually what it entails is a lot. It also entails a lot. I pray that Allah grant us the ability to benefit from everything that we are going to study here. This particular surah, actually, it is either Surah Al-Makkiyah or Surah Al-Madaniyah. Okay, mainly most of the Mufassirun, they talk about it either being Makkiyah or Madaniyah. So you see some of them saying, some scholars saying it is Makkiyah, and then some scholars say it is Madaniyah. But the most authentic opinion is that it is Makkiyah. Surah Al-Makkiyah is revealed where the Prophet was in Makkah. That's the most authentic opinion. Nevertheless, as I said, there are other people, other scholars who say it is Madaniyah. So this particular surah, actually Allah is going to be talking, we are going to be learning about Allah's love and then Allah's blessing on his Prophet. If you want to study one of the surahs that talk about Allah's blessing and the love of Allah for his messenger, then it is this particular surah. So at the first part, Allah is going to be mentioning his blessings and then the favors that he has conferred on the Prophet, and then asking for devotion, asking for in response, Allah is going to ask for submission in prayers and then in sacrifice to him. And then we have seen this in a whole lot of several parts of the Quran. Mainly when Allah mentioned his favors, Allah asks that we should be shakur, we should be those who are who show gratitude towards it. And we are going to see similar things here, like Allah says, لَإِنَا فِي قُرَيْشِ إِلَى فِيهِمْ رِحْلَةَ الشِّتَاءِ وَالصَّيْفِ فَلْيَعْبُدُوا. So they should worship the Lord of this house. So mainly if you observe in the Quran, mainly when Allah mentioned his favors, and then he asks for us to be grateful for his favors. Like when we're studying Surah Al-Nasr, إِذَا جَاءَ نَصْرُ اللَّهِ وَالْفَتْحُ وَرَأَيْتَ النَّاسَ يَدْخُلُونَ فِي دِينِ اللَّهِ أَفْوَاجًا فَسَبِّحْ. So when that happens, فَسَبِّحْ, declare the perfection of your master. So mainly, as I said, we have seen this a lot in the Quran. Mainly when Allah mentioned favor, he conferred favor on us. He asks for immediately. He asks for us to be to show gratitude towards that, and that is in the simple wisdom, like Allah has told us, لَإِن شَكَرْتُمْ لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ. And so similar thing here, after Allah mentioning in the first ayah, Allah mentioning his blessings and then his favors that he has conferred on the Prophet. Immediately he asked that فَصَلِّ لِرَبِّكَ. He asked that the Prophet should devote himself in prayers and sacrifice. And so let's just kickstart. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Inna a'tainaka al-kawthar fasalli li rabbika wanhar inna shani'aka huwa al-abtar. So the first ayah is Inna a'tainaka al-kawthar. Indeed, we have granted you al-kawthar. I will not translate kawthar for now. Inshallah, I'll translate it later. So inna, of course, this inna we have explained it a lot of times. Actually, it's a pronoun that is, you know, pronouns in Arabic language. This inna actually is plural, but it is not plural. Pronouns could come, it could be even plural pronouns can come for respect, and then we have seen that before. Plural pronouns can come for respect. So this respect here, this plural here is for respect and not necessarily plural. So it's not Allah and then other personality or other people or something. No, but it is pronoun for respect. So in the Quran you see it a lot. Sometimes Allah use singular pronoun ana, inni, And then other places you see that Allah uses plural, like inna, nahnu. But those pronouns, they are for respect. You see sometimes when the chief says, we have forgiven you. But it's the chief who is forgiving you. He's the king. He has taken the decision. He has made the decision to forgive you. There is a criminal. Then after the judgment has been passed, he decided that I should forgive him. So he will, when the chief is addressing the people, you see, we have decided to forgive you. But literally, he's the one taking the decision. Like the president of the country, most of the time you hear him speaking and then you will see, we have decided to do this. We have decided that the military should do this. But actually, he's the actual one who's appending his signature. So that plural is plural of respect. And that's similar thing here. And mainly it is further emphasizing how great, how magnificent that Kawthar is. The Kawthar, as I said, I will not translate it now. We'll still come to look at what Kawthar is. And so, plural of respect. Inna, indeed, we have given you Al-Kawthar. A'ta. This A'ta here, it means to give. But actually, there are different words for giving in the Quran. Mainly about three main words that are used, or three main verbs to mean giving in the Quran. Sometimes you see A'ta, sometimes Allah use Ata, and then sometimes he use Wahaba. So A'ta, Ata, and then Wahaba. These are mainly the three verbs that are mainly used to mean give in the Quran. Allah uses for giving in the Quran. So Allazina Atainahumul Kitab. So that's Ata. And Ata mainly is used in a context when something that can be taken back. Yes. So if you give reward to somebody, but you expect the person to be grateful, if not, you can take it back. So in that context, when Allah is talking about giving out something, if you are not grateful, he can still take it back. He uses ata. So the condition, that's mainly the cases where it is used in the Quran. So that's ata. And then wahaba is used for something very big, something very, a huge gift. Okay. A huge gift. It's not just something casually, something that comes over some time. A huge gift that comes after some time is called wahaba. And then finally we have this one, ata. Ata is used when you are merely happy, extremely happy with someone. Okay, it comes without condition. It's not that when the person, it doesn't come with condition like ata. Ata, as I said, if the person is grateful, it comes with demands. So ata could be taken by ata. It means you are extremely happy with someone, you just give him something without condition. So that's ata. Meaning, this surah, as I said, it shows Allah's love, extreme love for his prophet. And so Allah just said, we have given you Al-Kawthar. Meaning that, do as you wish, but we have been giving you, it will not be taken back. MashaAllah. So that is ata here. If you also look at ata is in the past tense. Okay, ata yu'ti, but Allah is saying ata. So ata, we need to understand why is it past tense. As we have said before, when it comes to Allah, in terms of Allah is not, we human beings, we are those restricted by time. But in the context of Allah, to Allah, past tense, past and then present and future, they all are the same. What Allah wish, there's no future about it. It is as if it has already been done. There's done deal. There's nothing that can change it. Whatever Allah wish he gets. But we as human beings, we are restricted by time. Let's say in the future we plan to do this, but it may be disrupted. Something can happen and then it will not work again. But Allah, when Allah set incidents for himself, this is going to happen on this day and this day and this day, there's nothing that can change it, except that he himself willing to change it. But it is already as done deal. So Allah says, Inna a'toinaka al-Kawthar, meaning it is already done deal. Even whether past, present, and even things to come in the future. MashaAllah. So it's very beautiful that Allah used past tense. And mainly, as I said, past tense, when it is used in the Quran, we need to know that it comes to further buttress the point that it is a done deal. It is done deal. We as human beings, if you want, the most certainty is the past. Nothing is certain like yesterday. Yesterday, things that happened, they are past. There's no way it can be changed. So the past is already guaranteed, but the future is not guaranteed. So if you want to buttress something that it is, there's no doubt about it, we use past tense. Okay, so inna a'tayna al-Kawthar. We have given you Al-Kawthar. Now let's come to Al-Kawthar. What does Kawthar mean here? Kawthar actually, in sort of in Arabic morphology, Kawthar is from Kesra, and from it the adjective is Kasir, and then the ism mubalagha is Kawthar. So Kawthar is ism mubalagha. In English we call it hyperbole. Hyperbole meaning you hyperbolize something. So it's one of the siyak, the patterns of ism mubalagh of hyperbole. So in Arabic we have fawul. Okay, fawul. So for example we have jawhar, fawal. Okay, in Arabic we have fawal. That pattern, it is ism mubalagh. Like we have jawhar from jahar, jaharun. Then we have jawhar. Then kasrun we have kawsar. So similar pattern. So when nouns come on that pattern, fawal, it comes to mean it is mubalagha, it is hyperbole. So meaning abundant good, good that cannot be, its quantity cannot be measured. Kasrun is just good. Kasir is the adjective. It means very good, like a lot of good. But when you want to hyperbolize it, it is good, extremely good, abundant good. You cannot count it. You cannot measure its quantity with a Kawthar. I hope that is clear. So it is an ism mubalagha in Arabic morphology. It is ism mubalagha from Kasra, and then the ism mubalagha is Kawthar, meaning abundant good. Good whose quantity cannot be measured. One of the scholars, Zamakhshari, he says that Al-Kawthar faw'al min al-kathra. And then he says that he strike an example using the past days. So he says that Kil al-Arabiya, the olden days, the Arabs, they used to even use Kawthar even before the Quran. So the olden days, you see the Arabs using Kawthar, and then he strike an example. He says that there's this old woman in Arabic poetry. There's this old woman whose son returned from Safar, from trade. He went on a journey of trading. Then when he came back, she was asked, this woman was asked, Bima ababnak, Bima ababnuk, with what did your son return with? Then the woman says that, Qalat aba bikawtharin. He returned with a lot of wood. He returned with a lot of wood. So that's what that's how Zamakhshari explained this Kawthar. He explained it by the context that the Arabs used even before the Quran was revealed. So even before the Quran was revealed, the Kawthar was used to mean abundant good. There's a poetry here. Wa anta kathirun yabna marwanu tayyibun wa kana abuka ibnu aqail kawtharan. Then he says that he's speaking Ibn Marwan, you are good in terms of your character. Anta kathirun yabna Marwan tayyibun. You are good in terms of your character. Wakana abuka, but your father, however, Ibn Aqail, your father Ibn Aqail, kana kawthara. He was amazingly good. He was extremely good. So that is this share explain this context. Kawthar, Kasir is good. Like he is Ibn Marwan. He said Ibn Marwan is Kasir, Tayyibun. He is good in his character. But his father was Kawthara. So meaning that's if step further. So Kasir is, as I said, it is an adjective. It's an adjective. It means good. But Kawtharun or Kawthar it goes a step further, which, as I said, is in mubalagha. It means extremely good or abundant good. Good whose quantity cannot be measured. And so that is the linguistic or the surf in terms of Arabic surf. That is the breakdown of this ayah here. Now let's look at what Mufassirun says about this ayah. So inna a'tayna al-Kawthar. Allah says we have given you the abundant good. That is, we have explained in terms of Arabic language. Now let's look at contextually what does it mean. So Ibn Abbas, he is the first one I'll mention here. Ibn Abbas says that al-Kawthar ay al-khayrul kasir. It is abundant good. Bimana, all good that the Prophet has been given by Allah, it is termed as Al-Kawthar. So inna a'tainaka al-Kawthar, meaning that Allah is saying we have granted you the abundant good, all the good things that you can count that the Prophet have in this life and then even in the Akhirah, like the fever of Islam, then Nubuwa, and then he being granted Nubuwa. And then the favor of carrying this Quran was revealed unto the heart of Rasulullah. So that's a very big ni'mah. And then the Imam Mursaleen, he is the leader of all the prophets. And all keep on counting them. And so he was granted great victory. And then Islam spread to all parts of the world. All these ones, you can keep on mentioning them. And all this, they are among Kawthar. وقد ورد في الحديث أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال أعطيت خمسا لم يعطهن أحد من الأنبياء. The Prophet says, I have been granted 5 things which no other prophet was given قبلي. So the other prophets were given also a lot of things. They share similarities with the Prophet, but Allah says, the Prophet says, I was given 5 things which no other prophet was given. I am the only one who has been given these things. The Prophet even count them. He says that I have been aided by fear in the enemy. Masirat al-shahr, a distance of 1 month. If I'm going to attack, if an enemy knows that the Prophet and his companions are coming to attack us, if we are at a distance of 1 month, they begin to fear. They begin to fear. A distance of 1 month alone, the fear is already being casted into their heart. So that is one thing the Prophet was given. And the Prophet says, and then the earth has been made a masjid for me. And then it can be used for tayammum also for me. And anyone among my ummah where a prayer who has been cut off with prayer, he can pray. So any part of the earth we can pray, unlike any other prophets. And then the earth has been made tahura. We can use it for tayammum, tahura for us. This was not given to other prophets. Other prophets, they were not allowed. And then the prophets also says, and then the ghanima, the spoils of war, the booty that has been gained from war, they have been made halal for me. Other prophets, it was not so. Mainly, if you look at the past narration, there's narrations which says that some Ghanaim, when they used to get Ghanaim, they just go and put it on the mountain. Fire will come and consume it. It was not allowed to take Ghanima from war, spoils of war. It wasn't allowed. But the Prophet was granted this. It was made halal for the Prophet. And the Prophet says, I was sent to all humanity. Other prophets were being sent to nations, like Musa alayhi salatu wasalam. He was sent to the Israelis. Isa alayhi salatu wasalam. So you see it in the Quran. Ya qawmi lima tu'zunani wa qad ta'lamuna anni rasulullah. So Ya qawmi, he's speaking to his people. So prophets were sent to their nations. Lut was sent to his people. Prophet Hud was sent to Ad. Prophet Saleh was sent to Samud. Prophet Shu'aib was sent to the people of Madian. And then in that other, you can keep on mentioning them, but the Prophet, he was sent to humanity at large. He wasn't sent to specifically Arabs or a particular group of people. Islam is for the whole world. And this is not a small favor, because this means that he will carry the majority on the day of judgment. When the prophets are standing with their nations, the Prophet is going to be standing with the whole world. So he will carry the majority on the day of judgment. And this is not a small favor. And then, as we know, Adalu ila al-khayri kafa'ilihi. A pointer to a good deed is as if he gets the same reward as the doer. If someone searching for the masjid, you show him, he go and pray, you get the same reward. So Adalu ila al-khayri kafa'ilihi. So, and the Prophet, look at anyone who is a Muslim, any good deed that you do, the Prophet have the similar reward. If you pray, we all Muslims on the surface of the globe, if we pray, we go to Hajj, we fast, we give zakat, we mention them, the Prophet gets a share of that reward. The Prophet gets similar reward. And this is not small. So this is not a small favor. So what is to ila nasi kafa. And then the Prophet also says, what is to shafa'a. So these are the 5 things that the Prophet was given. No other Prophet was given. What is to shafa'a. Shafa'a, intercession on the day of judgment. The day of judgment is not going to be easy. So when people are going to be touched with distress and they have no other resort, they will go to Adam alayhi salatu wasalam. Then he will say he will reject. He cannot. Then people move to Noah, move to Ibrahim, move to Isa, move to Musa, move to Isa until they get to Rasulullah. And then Rasulullah will intercede on behalf of humanity. And then Allah will come now and start the judgment. So Allah starts the day of judgment with his intercession. The day of judgment will start with the intercession of Rasulullah. So this is not a small thing, Maqam Mahmuda, as Allah terms it. So all these are from the Kawthar. All these are from the Kawthar. In the hadith, Kawthar is a name of a river. In special, there's a river in Jannah which is named Kawthar specifically. It's also a name. So as we said, Kawthar is a general term. It's a general term to mean all the good, like Ibn Abbas says, Al-Khairul Kaseer is Kawthar. Among it also is a haud, a pond in Jannah. It is called Kawthar. So let's listen to what Sheikh Sadi says here. Al-Kawthar ay al-Khairul Kaseer الذي من جملته ما يعطيه الله لنبيه صلى الله عليه وسلم يوم القيامة من النهر الذي يقال له كوثر. Among it, so he is also cited by Ibn Abbas, the statement of Ibn Abbas, saying that it is khairul kasir, abundant good, a manner good, all good that the Prophet was given. And then he says that min jumlatihi ma yu'tihi Allahu nabiyyi yawm al-qiyamah. Among it is what Allah will give to the Prophet on the day of judgment, min an-nahr, of river, allazi yuqalu lahu Kawthar, which is called Kawthar. So there's a river in Jannah that will be given to, that the Prophet have on judgment day. It is called Al-Kawthar. It is called Al-Kawthar. There are two similar narrations. One is referring to a river in Jannah for the Prophet, and then there is another one, a haud, a pond, where the Prophet will be given to drink at the standing position of judgment. You know, on the day of judgment is not going to be small, like the Prophet has already told us. وَدَنَتِ الشَّمْسُ حَتَّى تَكُونَ مِقْدَارَ مِيلًا وَتَكُونُ النَّاسُ فِي الْعَرَقِ عَلَى قَدْرِ أَعْمَالِهِمْ. People are going to be in sweat at the level of their deeds. So the sun will come down. And so it's not going to be small. There's going to be, there's going to be severe test. And so, while people are standing waiting for judgment, the Prophet will be given a haud, a pond that will be made of water. And then those who are close to the Prophet, those who used to follow his sunnah, those who used to follow his guidance in this world, they will benefit from this pond that is given to Rasulullah. So a pond that is given to the Prophet at the standing position, and also a river in Jannah which is called Al-Kawthar. And so Sheikh Sadi says here that Tuluhu shahrun wa arduhu shahr. Its length is 1 month of walking, like of movement. Wa arduhu shahr, and its weight is also shahr, 1 month. And then he says that ashaddu bayadun min al-laban. It is more whiter than milk. Wa ahla min al-asal, and it is sweeter than honey. Aniyatuhu kanujum sama. Is aniya, is vessels, the vessels that will be used to drink them, is vessels. Kanujum sama, they are like the stars of the skies. The stars in the skies, they are like that. Fi kisratiha wastinaratiha, in its quantity and then in its brightness. There are going to be so many, and then there are going to be very, very bright vessels that will be associated with it, that comes with this pond. And then those who are close to the Prophet, those who used to follow his footsteps while they were on this world, they will get to drink. And then he says that man shariba minhu sharbatan lam yazma ba'daha abada. Whoever gets to drink a single, sipping from it, he will never get tasty. Allahu Akbar. Allah Akbar. Whoever gets to drink even a single drink, whoever gets to drink just once out of this pond, he will never get tasty again. So, as I said, judgment is not going to be so small. At the place of standing, people will stand for several years. So, people, those who drink from it, they will never get tasty until the judgment, all the judgment is all over. MashaAllah. So, this is among the Kawthar. So, specifically, you see some scholars referring it Al-Kawthar to just be the river, but that is not in the most authentic opinion, where most of the Jumhur of the scholars or the Mufassirin they stand is that this river is part of the Kawthar that is given, is part of the good things that is given to the Prophet. So the most authentic opinion is that Al-Kawthar is actually very broad. It entails the river in Jannah, or the river, the pond that is at the standing position of judgment, and all the good things that the Prophet is being given in this world and in the hereafter. That's the most authentic opinion. فَصَلِّ لِرَبِّكَ وَانْحَرْ. Very beautiful. After Allah has talked about the favors that He has granted, all these big blessings and big favors that He has granted the Prophet, Allah just says, فَصَلِّ لِرَبِّكَ وَانْحَرْ. And then we have already made mention of the fact that this is this is the sunnah, like Zamakhshari comments on that. He says this is the sunnah of Allah Azza wa Jal. Whenever a favor is being mentioned, Allah quickly say that we should be grateful for it. And that is similar thing here. Inna a'tainaka al-kawthar. And then فَصَلِّ لِرَبِّكَ. So what should you do after Allah has granted you all these favors? فَصَلِّ لِرَبِّكَ وَانْحَرْ. Pray to your master, وَانْحَرْ, and then make sacrifice and slaughter specifically. So فَصَلِّ لِرَبِّكَ. And then salah here, of course, most of the Mufassirun, they try to give comment on what this salah is actually referring to. And basically, you see some of them, the Mufassirun saying that it is referring to Eid al-Adha, but the majority is saying that Jami' al-Salawat, like Sheikh Usaymin says, Jami' al-Salawat, all the prayers that is given to the Prophet, both mandatory and even voluntary prayers, they are both included here. وَصَلِّ لِرَبِّكَ وَانْحَرْ. And then Salah here, as I said, if you look at something, why does Allah mention Salat? You expect that Allah will mention something. As you may someone give you something that you cannot pay for. Someone has granted you. Have you seen some cases where someone has been given something and the person say, I don't even know how to thank you? That's a similar thing here. The Prophet has been given all these favors. And so, how can he be thankful to Allah? Allah says, Salah, pray. Subhanallah. This actually reflect what prayers means in the sight of Allah. The prayers that we are talking with, in the sight of Allah, they are small things. That's why even in the Prophet told us, Inna awwala ma yuhasabu bihi al-abdu yawm al-qiyamah as-salah. The first thing that will be asked is, there's no joke in salat. The first thing that will be asked about salat on the day of judgment, or that will be asked on the day of judgment, is salat. And then the Prophet even says that baynana wa baynahum as-salat, faman tarakaha faqad kafar. Between us and them, between us and the disbelievers, the difference between us and the disbelievers is salat. فَمَنْ تَرَكَهَا فَقَدْ كَفَرَ. Whoever leaves it, he has disbelieved. He's no more a believer. So prayer is no joke to Allah. You know, Musa alayhi salatu wasalam climbed the mountain and then he spoke with Allah. You know, he wished that he could be speaking with Allah every day. So what did Allah tell him? وَأَقِمُوا الصَّلَاةَ لِلذِّكْرِ. And establish the prayer for my remembrance. Subhanallah. So prayer is no joke to Allah. You know, so after Allah mentioning all this, Allah says, فَصَلِّ لِرَبِّكَ وَانْحَرْ. Pray to your Lord, وَانْحَرْ, and then make sacrifice. And slaughter specifically. Nahara, the verb here is nahara, which actually comes to mean to slaughter, which means to slaughter. Actually, in the Arabic language or even in the Quran, there are about 3 words that are used for slaughtering. You see nahar, and then you see zabah, and then we have zakya, okay. إِلَّا مَا زَكَّيْتُمْ بِهِ وَمَا زُبِحَ عَلَى النُّسُبِ, like Allah says. So zakya is actually to slaughter, but in a haste manner. Like an animal is about to die, then you just slaughter it very fast. Or something happened to it, it is about to lose its life, and you don't want it to go in waste, then you just slaughter it. That is zakya. And then we have zabaha. Zabaha is also to slaughter, but it's a general term. It's used for specific purposes. Okay, it's used for specific purposes. You are trying to sacrifice to Allah so that Allah will accept your prayer, or you are trying to slaughter for a particular sacrifice. You have a specific intention, so that's zabah. And then it's used for cows and then even sheep and then other animals. But nahar is also slaughter, but it's mainly to cut from the throat. So it is used for the camel. So nahar, when nahar is mentioned, mainly it is referring in the siyak, in the context of Arabic language, it is mainly referring to the camel, because it's the camel that we cut from the throat, from below. So that is nahar, that is the specific nahar here. And so this, most of the mufassirun base their argument on this fact that nahar is referring to the camel here specifically. And so that is why some people say this ayah is referring to the Eid. You know, the Eid al-Adha, on the day of Eid al-Adha, what do? We go and pray, then we come back and slaughter. But mainly, as I said, the whole of the school of the mufassirun of the scholars, they side by the fact that this is general, this ayah is general. And you know, one other thing like Zamakhshari is mentioned again is that this is the sunnah of Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam. This is the sunnah of Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam. Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam, he says, Inna salati wa nusuki wa mahyaya wa mamati lillah. Inna salati wa nusuki, indeed my prayer and my sacrifice. So Allah is remembering the prophet of the legacy of Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam. Allah says, Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, he was grateful. Shakiran li an umih ijtabahu wa hadahu ila siratin mustaqim. Shakiran li an umih, he was grateful for the favors that Allah granted him. And so, how was he grateful? Allah says, this is the legacy. This ayah is just talking about the legacy of Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam. His prayer and then his sacrifice was solely to Allah. The Arabs, they also used to slaughter and sacrifice and even pray, but they used to do it to the idols. They go and pray to their idols and slaughter some animals to the idols. They use the blood on the idols. But Allah is saying, you, a person on Tawheed, as a Muslim, you should pray and sacrifice solely for Allah alone. For solely rabbika wanhar. Pray to your Lord and then sacrifice, make slaughter for his sake. And that is so the Prophet, during the Hajj of the Prophet donated 100 camels. 100 camels when he was performing his Hajj, and then he slaughtered 63 of them with his own hands, and then the remaining one he left it for Ali radiallahu anhu to slaughter, and then he gave all of it for charity. He gave the meat to charity, except a piece of each camel, from each camel that he cooked, and then he ate the meat, and then he drank the stew also, and then he even ordered that the skin of these camels, they should also be given out as sadaqah. Subhanallah. So the Prophet just wanted to fulfill Allah's command on him. Subhanallah. And this is a command to the Prophet, it's a command to us. A command to the Prophet is a command to us. So we must also pray sincerely, and all our sacrifice should be channeled towards Allah. We shouldn't sacrifice anything without the name of Allah. We are sacrificing to idols, we are sacrificing to with your forefathers or what. All these ones is not on the legacy of Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam. So Allah is warning us what the mushrikeen used to do. Let's not do it. Allah is saying we shouldn't do it. We should sacrifice lirabbik, for your Lord, and that is Allah azza wa jal. Inna shani'aka huwa al-abtar. Indeed, it is your enemy who is cut from the root. Inna shani'aka huwa al-abtar. Shani'un actually means an enemy. Enemy. Someone who is an enemy to you. Huwa al-abtar. He is the one who has been cut off. There are several incidents, or some mufassirun try to draw a lot of incidents that may have triggered this ayah to be revealed. The most common and then the most authentic one is the fact that when Qasim radiallahu anhu, the son of the Prophet, he died. The Prophet, the Prophet had sons, but most of them, or all of them, they died before they were even mature. They died. The sons of the Prophet, they died. So specifically Qasim radiallahu anhu, when he died, Abu Lahab, and then some of the kuffar, some of the disbelievers are like Abu Lahab and then Abu Jahl, they were jubilating, they were enjoying. Even Abu Lahab, he came out with something like a drum, he was beating something and singing and then dancing, that Muhammad Batara Muhammad has been cut off. Why? This Batar, it was used for someone who doesn't have sons to carry his name. In the context of Arabic language, sons are those who carry the name of their father. So you see Muhammad ibn so and so, Abdullah ibn so and so, Yasir ibn so and so. So you see it a lot when you are looking at Arab. So the sons, they used to carry the names of their father, because the daughters, when they marry someone, they carry the name of their husband. If you just marry someone today, if a daughter just marries someone today, he starts using his husband's name as his surname. Even in Arab, even in Islam, it's not allowed. It's not it's prohibited. But that was what they used to do during the time of Jahiliyyah. Or even they use things like Miss. Today you see like Miss Obama, Miss something something. So that the daughters, as for their daughters, they were not carrying so they were not carrying the names of their fathers, and it was sons who were carrying the names of their fathers. So when the son or the sons of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when they passed away, especially Qasim passing away, Abu Lahab was jubilated. But Muhammad has been cut off. He has no one to carry his name, so he will be forgotten. No, he doesn't have sons. Even after your death, your sons, they will still carry your name. Okay, so let's say you have son who is called Abdullah, and then my name is Muhammad. So the full name will be Muhammad Abdullah. So even after my death, he's still carrying the name Muhammad Abdullah. Anywhere you go, Muhammad Abdullah. That Muhammad, it makes people, those who know me, when they hear it, it reminds them of me. But they think that if the person doesn't have sons, if he just died, that's all. There's no one to carry his name for him to be even remembered. So he will not be remembered. He has been forgotten. So this term, Batara, was used for someone who doesn't have son. So this term, they started calling the prophet this name, Batara Muhammadun. Abtar, who Abtar, he's the one who has been cut off. And so Allah is refuting that here in this particular ayah. Inna shani aka huwa al-abtar. It is indeed your enemy. He's indeed the one. This is the house for tawqi, for emphasis. He's indeed the one who has been cut off. Who has been cut off. Bathara, linguistic Arabic language, it means for something to cut from the root, as I said it. For something to cut from the root. Shani'un, as I said, actually, they are about 3 words in Arabic language, in the Quran specifically, that is comes for enemy. We have udwan, animosity, udwan. And then we have bagda'un. Then we have shana'an. We have shana'an also. But these words, they are not just used anyhow. Shana'an is used, or let me, the udwan is the common one, or adu. From it we have adu. The person is called adu, enemy. But the noun animosity or enmity is called udwan. And that means someone who wants to defeat you, like shaitan. In the shaitan, Allah says, he wants to defeat you as. Meaning his goal is to make sure that we don't succeed. So meaning he has defeated us, and we finally find ourselves in hellfire. May Allah protect us. That's his aim. So someone who wants to defeat you is called udwan. Adu, and then the noun is udwan. Then we have bagda'un. It's also another noun for animosity, which means someone who he want to defeat you, all right, but he hates you. Someone may want you to be defeated, but he does not hate you. Let's say they are voting for presidency. You want someone to be defeated. You doesn't want the person to win, but you don't hate the person. So that is udwan. But bagda here, it's not only you want the person to be defeated, but you hate him. So it's a step further, backdoor. And then it even comes in the Quran. Okay, Surah Al-Imran, you find it in Surah Al-Imran. Then Shana'an, like we have here, Shana'an, and then the person is Shani'un. It means someone who, he's an adu. He has udwan, then he has backdoor, and then he hides it. So Shana'an is first he wants you to be defeated. Then 2, he hates you. And 3, he hides it. That's the main thing that makes it distinguished from the other ways. He hides it. You know, sometimes you hate someone, the person knows you hate him. But Shani'un, it's someone who hates you. He wants you to be defeated, but he hides his hatred. He pretends. You see him, you think the person like you, but wallahi, what the person has in his heart, if they open it up, like Allah says, قَدْ بَدَتِ الْبَغْضَاءُ مِنْ أَفْوَاهِهِمْ وَمَا تُخْفِي صُدُورُهُمْ أَكْبَرُ. Subhanallah. So Allah is saying, so this is referring to the disbelievers, and Allah is just revealing what they have in their heart. They have severe hatred for the Prophet. How I don't understand. How will you be? You need to be a human being to mourn the death of someone. The child is even in your seat. He is a family member to you. Abu Lahab was the uncle of the Prophet. So the son of the Prophet is still his family member. Then just because of the Prophet, his animosity got to the point that the death of the child is indirectly his grandson. So the death of his grandson, because of the Prophet being his father, he doesn't care. He is ready to rejoice just because of the Prophet being the father of the son, or of the kid, or of the child, of the baby. Subhanallah. So this is not motive. So shana'a, the verb is shana'a. Okay. Shana'a, like Allah says, وَلَا يَجْرِمَنَّكُمْ شَنَآنُ قَوْمٍ عَلَىٰ أَنْ لَا تَعْدِلُوا. And don't make the animosity that you have for other people prevent you from being just. Someone deserves to be given, to be judged in favor of a case, but because you hate the person, you judge the case against him, not in his favor, but he deserves the right. He's the one who is right, and then the other party is wrong. But because you are the judge and you hate him, you make sure that he loses the case. So that's what Allah is telling us. So that is from this word shana'a. And then, as I said, it's an enemy who wants you to be defeated. He hates you, and then he hides it. So inna shani'aka huwal abtar. He is indeed the one who has been cut off. Imam Sa'di sees here a very, very beautiful. He commented here very beautiful by saying that al-abtar ay al-maqtu'u min kulli khayr, al-maqtu'u al-amal, al-maqtu'u al-zikr. Al-abtar here, this abtar, he's commenting on this abtar, the one who has been cut off, and he says that al-maqtu', the one who has been cut off, min kulli khair, from all good. That is what Sheikh Sadi is saying here. And even Sheikh Islam ibn Taymiyyah, he also has that same view. He's saying al-abtar bimana al-maqtu'u min kulli khair, someone who has been cut from all good, meaning good in this world and then good in the hereafter. And then he further explained that by saying that al-maqtu'u al-amal bimana, he has been cut off from doing good things, wal maqtu'u zikr, and then he has been cut off from being remembered. So meaning that remembrance and being remembered is in this world. And then Maktu'ul Amal, he has been cut off from good things. Good things are for where will you get the compensation in the hereafter. So meaning he has been cut from remembrance in this world, and he has been cut off from doing good things which will benefit him in the hereafter. So Maktu'ul min kulli khair, al khairu fi dunya wal akhirah. He has been cut off from both benefit in this world and in the next life. He has no benefit whatsoever. And then in context to that, the Prophet is the one who has been given, who has been granted this as-zikr and then al-amal. وَأَمَّا مُحَمَّدٌ فَهُوَ الْكَامِلُ الْحَقِّ بِخَلْقِ الْمَخْلُوقِ مِنْ رَفْعِ الذِّكْرِ وَكَسْرَةِ الْأَنصَارِ وَالْأَتْبَاعِ. The Prophet is the one who is being remembered. Look at every day we call for azan, we give the iqamah. The whole globe, all over the world, how many masajid do we have? Uncountable. We can't count them. And each single masajid, they call for prayers 5 times a day. And each of them, they are saying, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan. Every day, every single day, each masajid you can think of on the surface of the earth, if they should call for prayer 5 times a day, and then even give the iqamah, they mention Rasulullah, the Prophet. And so prayer time even differs. Prayer time in Egypt could be this time, in the next hour. Let's say Fajr in Egypt could be this time, in the next few minutes. Prayer in London, prayer in Spain, prayer in Jordan. Mention them in that other. So it goes around like that. By the time all the world they will finish playing Fajr, it will be Zuhr time. then continues. So every day, every single day, at any given time, there's prayer going on somewhere, and then the Prophet is being mentioned. Even in the tashahhud, we do salat on the Prophet, and not only that, day in, day out, we do salat on the Prophet. Salat ala Nabi, we do it a lot. There are people, mashallah, every day the amount of salawat that they send, the salutations that they send on the Prophet is uncountable. And that is every single day until Judgment Day. So these people, they didn't know what they were talking about. So that's why Allah says, Inna shani'aka, indeed it is your enemy. He's the one who has been cut off. The Prophet died 1,400 years ago, but today it's as if he's dead. It doesn't even feel like that he's dead, And this will continue till Judgment Day. Every day he's been mentioned. More than, you can count it uncountable times every single day. So this alone is from the Kawthar, mashallah, it's from the Kawthar that we have just learned. So, but look at those kuffar, those disbelievers who were saying he has been cut off. They think the sons of the Prophet, they are those who carry his name. Look at them, Abu Jahl. Where is Abu Jahl? Even today, if you mention Abu Jahl, people say, La'natullah, La'nahullah, may Allah curse him. If you hear Abu Lahab, what comes to your mind? La'nahullah, may Allah curse him. If not, bad thoughts. So this kind of people, they are not even mentioned. No one even want to follow their legacy. No one even want to be associated with them. No one want to be said that this person is from the family of Abu Lahab, or this person was the son of Abu Lahab. No one wants that. And then even whenever their name is even mentioned, it's mentioned in the context of bad things. Subhanallah. This is the legacy, the bad legacy that they are having. And then they were accusing the Prophet that the Prophet doesn't have any legacy. So Allah says, Inna shani'aka huwa al-Kawthar. Indeed, it is your enemy. He's the one who has been cut off from the root. Usaymin, very beautiful. He says something very beautiful, and that is that this is not just referring to the disbelievers at the time of the Prophet. This is any disbeliever who hates the Prophet, and then he hates the deen, the religion of the Prophet. That's Islam. Those who have animosity against Islam, we should just leave them. It's a matter of time. Look at the whole world. There are people, there are people somewhere in some countries, they don't even want to hear about Muslims. Whenever they hear Muslims, they think, these are the terrorists. They label Muslims as terrorists. They oppress Muslims like something, do whatsoever they want to Muslims. Just to make sure that Islam, they fear the growth of Islam. They fear that if Islam grow, they will be humiliated, they will be brought down, they will be degraded. So they fear the roof of Islam. They label Muslims as terrorists. Islamic countries which are strong against them, they hate them. So these kind of countries, or these kind of groups of people who hate Islam and then they hate the Prophet, it's just a matter of time. Look at the disbelievers. They were most severe then in their kufr. But where are they now? They are nowhere to be found. They are nowhere to be mentioned. But look at Islam. Islam is still standing. So sometimes when we see things going on the media, someone will just come and tell you, my friend, do you know what the disbelievers are planning? This is so and so countries. They are planning to hate Muslims. They are doing this. And I told them, it's just a matter of time. إِنَّهُمْ يَكِيدُونَ كَيْدًا وَأَكِيدُ كَيْدًا. We just leave them to Allah. It's just a matter of time. All of them, they will be gone. They will be annihilated. There were people and grown. They were centuries. Groups of people and then countries way before, who were much stronger in their shana'an, in their hatred against Islam. But where are they? Islam will forever remain. Me and you and every person on the surface of the earth is just in short time we will all be gone. In short time we will all be gone. None of us will be on the surface of the earth, and Islam will remain. Islam is meant to continue till the end of Judgment Day. So whether we hate it or not, it won't do anything. It won't add anything to it. It won't subtract anything from it. So that's very beautiful. Sheikh Usaymin comment on that. And then he says that this is referring to all disbelievers, in extension, all disbelievers who affirm who are against Islam. It will reflect back to them. And then very soon they will be uhliku wa uzillu. They will be destroyed and then they will be humiliated. Barakallahu li wa lakum fi Quran al-Hakim. We pray that Allah forgive us for any mistakes and errors that we have made here. And then we pray that Allah open our understanding all that we have studied here, Allah should use it to improve our understanding of this beautiful surah and extension to all surahs of the Quran. Pray that Allah grant us ability to study the Quran further, and then the main thing is for it to reflect in our life. Any small thing we are learning here, Allah should let it reflect in our life. May Allah grant us the ability to establish the Quran in our houses, in our homes, in our communities, in our countries, and in the world at large. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Wa barakallahu li wa lakum fi Qur'an al-Hakim. Wa nafani wa iyyakum bil ayati wa zikr al-Hakim.